In this video, I'm going to show you how I create content, how I plan it, and a general formula that you can follow so that you can kick things off. I've posted over 1,000 times and gained over 1 million followers across all social media platforms, and I was able to build a multiple six-figure business, all from starting from nothing. 0 followers, 0 experiences. I had never posted before. Because right now you're wondering how, Mel, how the mind wants to know the how. And even though I'll be addressing that in the 5-part series, I want you to remember part 1, the mindset and the goals, the why. The rest doesn't matter if you don't embody why it is that you're here. Why are you watching this video? And remember that I'm going to be sharing the strategies that have worked for me. So if you're enjoying this, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so that I know to keep creating content like this.
So here's the truth. It's not about going viral. It's about learning from the failures, figuring out what works for you, and most importantly, treating every piece of content like a piece of real estate. You're just one video away from potentially changing your life. In this video, I'm going to cover how to do research, the content creation framework, some AI tools and shortcuts that you can use today. And since I have the most experience with Instagram, I'm also going to be sharing with you my Instagram tips. And I'm even going to give you 2 free resources so that you have no excuses to not get started. So as we dive in today, keep in mind that the foundation I'm going to lay down is truly to set you up for the longevity of your content creation journey. As I go through, I'm going to pretend as if I was started from 0. What advice would I want to take? The one thing I want you guys to understand that this is organic marketing. I built a multiple 6-figure business without spending a penny on ads through these exact strategies. Here's the real reason why most creators fail with their first 100 videos. They're not tweaking their content. You see, consistency alone doesn't guarantee growth. It's selling forward fast. Now, I don't really believe in failure because every video you put out isn't going to go viral. However, you're not just creating content, you're creating digital real estate, meaning that every piece of video, every piece of content has its value. And if it doesn't perform the way we want to, we get the feedback as to why, and we make the necessary adjustments. And when you do find that winning piece of content, multiply it. What if I told you that one piece of content can be turned into 4 different formats? Reels under 60 seconds are the fastest way to grow. Here's why. Any reels greater than 60 seconds don't get pushed out to non-followers, which is new audiences. So if we are trying to grow on Instagram, it makes sense to create videos that are 60 seconds or less. You then want to turn that 60-second idea into a 30-second idea where you can do a voiceover, a 7-second video where you dive deeper in the caption by delivering value, and then turning it into a carousel. Every single video has its value. And by posting 100 videos, we are experimenting and figuring out what exactly it is the type of content that we enjoy creating. If I sat here and I told you, hey, you have to create 100 videos and they need to be in this format, and they need to be in this length, you probably won't do it. So Mel, what happens after I create 100 videos? After you create and post 100 pieces of content, you're gonna know exactly where you thrive, what you enjoy talking about. That's what's gonna lead to long-term success. So I'm gonna be sharing with you the strategy and framework that I would use to create my first 100 pieces of content. So let's go ahead and dive into your first resource. This is going to be the 100 Reels Content Planner. Make sure to look in the description to be able to grab your free resources. Now, once you open up the content planner for your 100 reels, you're also going to find your second freebie, which is going to be the actual strategy guide. So if we click this and we open it up, everything that I'm going to be covering today is already here, broken up into the 4 parts that we're going to be covering. So diving into part 1 is the research. How do we create content? What type of content do I create? All these questions. So where do I even start? It's very important to first get clear on what you are willing to create. Are you willing to talk? Are you willing to show your face? It is very, very important for you to get clear on that. Then find 2 to 3 creators that are creating similar content to what you see yourself creating. Now, going back to the planner. So to the left, write the date, and I left you a very motivating little note down here for video 100, because by video 100, you will increase your belief, you will find your voice, and potentially even monetizing. Like I mentioned before, there's no such thing as a bad idea. Whatever inspires you, any video ideas that you have, this is where you take notes. Share your experiences, any behind the scenes, your personal failures. Be more relatable. That's what's going to build a connection. Tips and tricks are great, but think long-term and longevity. Here's where you're going to select the type of content. So if you're going to be making a video, if you're going to be making a carousel, that's where you can decide that. On the hook section, this is where you want to write out the hook that you're going to be using. In the value proposition, this is where we just want to take note of what's the whole point of this piece of content? Why are we putting it out? Is it to make them laugh? 50% of people on social media are really there for a good time. Is it to provide education, to build brand awareness? What will the audience gain? Then this is where you want to write out your caption. Remember to follow the hook, value, call to action formula, which I'm going to be covering a little bit very soon. And to keep yourself even more organized, this is where you can tell yourself if you posted it or if it's pending or you need to film. Now I'm going to be talking about B-roll a little bit more tomorrow, but B-roll is going to be a lifesaver. But this is where you would share that link to any B-roll video that you have. So make sure that you hit that like, comment, and subscribe so that you can come back for the rest. Now, why are we doing this? Well, because if we know the hook that we use, the video, the caption, and we follow the strategies that I'm mentioning here, by the way, I've paid thousands of dollars into Instagram gurus so that you don't have to, then here in the performance is where we want to kind of just keep track of if it worked, if it flopped. So you see now how important it is to get those 100 videos out of the way. Think of it as the little mountain we need to climb to get a better bird's eye view into the content creation game. Now, the second thing that I'm going to be covering here is keyword research. So the way social media works, specifically Instagram, is people go to these social media platforms to get information. This is where we're going to dive into SEO keyword. Now, I'm going to be walking you through using TikTok and Quora to answer your question of what type of content should I be creating. All right, so this is Quora. So think of it similar to Reddit. So what you want to do is go to the search button at the top and then just Google a question of the type of content that already interests you, something that you feel passionate about helping people solve. So something very generic like how to lose weight. And as you can see here in the types of questions, just check out this engagement, 3,000 answers, 3.9 thousand answers. So literally this is your content plan. Boom, shoot a video of what are the best ways to lose weight. Boom, that's the question right there. What you would do then is I would literally just copy literally as much as I possibly can, at least 30, and then open up a Google Doc and paste those questions there, because that's going to be the foundation of the value that I'm going to be providing my audience. Now I'm going to show you how to do this on TikTok. So for TikTok, it's going to be easier if I show you how to do it on my phone. So what you want to do is just on TikTok, make sure you click on the search button. And then what you want to do is search. And for this example, I'm going to stick to the same one, how to lose weight. But before you hit enter, you see to the right these arrows. That means that these are searches that are trending. So it's best to just take a screenshot, because these may be questions and topics that you can further look into. So we're going to click search. Once you do that, what you want to do is just find your 2 to 3 creators to just get inspiration from. Now, what we can also do is click the 3 dots at the top, click on filters, click on like count, and then let's go ahead and put the last 3 months, and then click on apply. It's just going to bring forward the types of videos that are working right now. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the content creation framework. After posting over 1,000 times, these are the 3 things that you definitely want to make sure that you're hitting. The first one is having a strong hook. The second thing is delivering the value. And lastly, you want to have a strong call to action. Now let's dive into these elements a little bit further. A hook is those first 3 seconds of hooking a person to watch the video until the very end. Think about this next time you're scrolling on social media. As you're scrolling, your finger's moving quite fast, but there's something about that video that makes you stop. Take note of why that is. In others, you'll notice that you skip right over. You don't even give them half a second, but your brain operates that fast. That's why those first 3 seconds are super important. Now, another common question that I get is, Mel, how do I give value? Well, this is where those generic tips and tricks videos can really help. Providing step-by-step videos, sharing case studies, but more importantly, sharing your story and real examples. Nothing is going to replace sharing your real struggles, showing your personality. If at the end of the video, the person feels better, like you solved one of their problems, you're going to build genuine connections. There's a difference between building a community and building an audience, right? At the end of the day, just be you. Now, I can talk about AI all day, but I did want to give you 3 ChatGPT prompts to help you leverage its capabilities for your content creation process. So all you have to do is just copy one prompt at a time and just fill it out. It'll give you exactly what you need. Now I'm going to mention one last tool here. You'll notice that on your content planner sheet for the hooks, I put something here called the Viral Vault. This is for those that are interested in leveraging more of the AI tools. If that's something that you're interested in, you can find it in the description below. So here are the 5 Instagram tips that I want to give you today. Reels are the fastest way to grow and reach new audiences as fast as possible. Like I mentioned earlier, you're going to want to have your reels under 60 seconds to have the most maximum impact. And from the Instagram CEO himself, he recommends that you guys focus on your hooks. The third thing is going to be your carousels. Like I mentioned earlier, carousels are an amazing way to also share your content. And I'm going to be sharing with you my 5-slide carousel formula. So for slide number 1, that is where you're going to put your hook. So you want to start with the problem that they can't ignore. Slide number 2 is going to be previewing the solution. So you're going to want to tease what's coming in the next following slides. Slide number 3 is where you want to show proof. So this is where you can add screenshots of any results, any testimonial, any way that you can build trust. So if you're somebody who wants to help other people lose weight, this is where having a client before and after, or your own personal transformation, because remember, your story is just as valuable, if not more. Slide number 4, this is where you want to give those actionable steps. You want to make it very clear and easy for people to take the next step. And lastly, slide number 5, this is where you close with that clear call to action. Even though it's obvious to us, this is exactly what we want to ask people what we want of them, whether it's to share our content, comment a keyword, hit the follow button. This is where we ask for that. The reason why this works very well, it's because you're building trust before asking for anything in return. The 4th tip is going to be SEO optimization. At this time, hashtags are less relevant on Instagram. What works better is using SEO keywords, and you want to implement them just like I showed you how to find them earlier. You're going to want to implement them on the caption of the reel, but also on screen of the reel itself. Tomorrow, when I walk you through an example, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. The last tip is to use the 3 viral hook strategy. That means is making sure that your reel has a hook, and throughout the video, every 3 seconds, think about how you are keeping the person watching until the very end. And the 3rd hook is actually in the captions. How do we get people to actually read our caption? Let's say that we have a call to action in the caption, but it's not performing well. The reason is because people are actually probably not reading through that caption itself. One way to try to improve that is to have an actual hook in the caption. I hope this paints a picture of the generic how things work. And as someone who has been doing this for almost 2 years, I just want to empower you and tell you, go try this. Go post 100 videos, figure out what type of content you enjoy creating. Follow some of this generic how information and strategies that I just shared with you today, but realize that that's what has worked for me. At the end of the day, we all have our personal stories and our experiences that we are meant to share. If you are called to create content, there's a reason why. You're supposed to empower people from the heart. So don't let your mind sabotage you from taking action, because here's the thing, you guys, consistency alone isn't enough. Posting 100 videos, just like I'm suggesting, isn't enough. It's when you take that consistency with the feedback, add the tweaks, and you learn at the same time, that is what's going to drive growth. So make sure that you are sharing with intent and not just chasing virality. As someone who has audited thousands of accounts, these are the 3 top mistakes. The first one is having a weak content format. If you stick to the content formats that I suggest, that'll solve that for you. The second thing is hooks. There's a reason why you scroll on social media, but there's a few videos that pop out to you. It's the hooks. And lastly, a clear call to action. If we're not telling our audience what it is that we want from them, they're simply not going to take action. And a personal takeaway from me, that as you're creating this content and just learning from your next 100 videos, it's about figuring out and discovering what is going to work for you so that we're laying the foundation for longevity of what's to come. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so that I know to keep putting out these videos for you guys. This is part 2 of a 5-part series. In the next video, I'm actually going to walk you through this process of how to create a video to how to post it. If it's not up yet, make sure you hit that notification button and hit the subscribe button so that you can know right away when it's out. Thank you guys so much.